What is up, everybody? In today's video we are going to be installing the rear subframe in my E30. All that in today's episode. My name is Ryan, this is Project Race Car. Let's get into it. So as you guys know, we have been reinforcing the rear subframe as well as doing new bushings in the rear end, but we are also waiting on parts to turbo the E30. One of the very shiny parts is the clutch, and we got this bad boy in, and then the turbo is on its way. So currently we are just waiting for the precision turbo. We already have the turbo manifold and we will start working on the build. I will need to pull the engine and transmission to install the clutch, but we're gonna focus on that in a separate video. Today we are looking at the rear end. And as you guys see, we have all new braided brake lines, we have all new Garagistics bushings in here, and then we just dropped a new coat of black paint on it, and we reinforced the subframe. So I figured while the subframe was out and we were doing the bushings, you might as well just reinforce the subframe, and then we will be installing this Z3 diff today. In terms of the old bushings that came out, they like to weld themselves onto the chassis, so I've been dealing with that for the last like 2 days. You can see this one was actually the better of the two. The other side, this whole top part just snapped off. So off camera, I've really been just fighting that. But I finally got everything done and ready to install. So the trailing arms are already bolted down, and so we just need to get this thing underneath the car, and then we'll be able to bolt it up. Perfect execution. Perfect. Okay, so the subframe is up. It's kind of hard to do with one person, but we made it happen. It was really just a lot of back and forth, and just using the jack and using blocks or the toolbox to kind of prop up the other side. But we so far got it mocked up, but now I'm going to add back the bracing for the bottom half. And then we will be good to go. Awesome, the subframe is under its own weight and looking good. Perfect. Let's get this diff in. This thing is much heavier than this small case. Oh, god damn it. Oh, this is gonna be difficult. When you think it's gonna be easy peasy lemon squeezy, but it's actually difficult, lemon difficult. Let's put this up. Probably should have gotten bolts first. Okay, stay. Does that catch? Wonderful and drop it. Oh, nice. Top diff bolt is in. Now we're just missing one bolt. So I realized that the bolts can't have the washers on them because it actually doesn't have enough threads. So we are going to pull off the washers because we added the separate metal. So we are going to pull that off, pull off this washer, and then we should be good to go. Alright, let's see if the diff survives its own weight. Perfect! Heck yeah! Well, unfortunately, I had to get the rear subframe installed really quickly, so I didn't have time to film it. But if you look here, the E30 is back on the ground. And the reason why we needed to get the E30 installed and back on the ground is we needed to start working on the E36. Now, you guys might have thought that I sold this car yet, but I have been trying to sort through all the BS on Marketplace, and I have somebody coming tomorrow. But I was also waiting for the shifter bushing to come in for the E36. Now, the shifter bushing is blown, and you can tell because if you put it in gear, hold on, put it in gear, you can see how much the bottom shift fork moves. And it shifts forward a lot, and so there's a lot of just play in this shifter, and what tends to happen is that when you shift into third, it ends up grinding because it doesn't actually catch, because there's so much just movement down here. You can see how much just it flexes back. So we need to replace this so that the third gear doesn't grind anymore. When selling a car, you want to make sure that you have a lot of the stuff done so that the next owner doesn't have to worry about it, and it will help with the sale. So this is everything from Garagistics that will replace all the shifter bushings. So this goes around the shifter, this goes in one of the, like in the actual shift rod, and then this is the important part that we're missing, and this is the hardest piece to get out. There's a spot on top of the transmission that this clip is held into, and it's really hard to get because it's on the top of the transmission. So we are going to, we have the E36 up in the air, so we are going to get under there and see what we can do. Okay, so this came out in about 3 minutes, less than. I got on the ground. You can see how terrible this bushing is, so that's definitely where our issue is coming from. But this is the clip that is always problematic. And this, the clip actually wasn't on correctly. You can see that it was bent, so I wonder if somebody else was messing with this. On the E30, when I did this job, it took me about 2 hours to get this, or I guess an hour, to get this stupid thing off. So, well, I will definitely take that. Now let's replace these bushings. Okay, just kidding. This bushing actually, I believe, goes on the back here. And then I likely won't be replacing this bushing, but this one, you can see, hold on, just how much play there is. And so that's definitely, this is the bushing that's causing the issue. And then this one looks fine because it's solid. So I'm going to pop this out, pop this one out, and replace these two, and then call it good. Awesome, now that that is out, we can just pop this guy in, flip it over, and pop this guy in. You can see that there's an oval back for this oval, and boom, easy as that. Awesome, so that came out, and turns out there are just 2 clips on the side, and so you just put a screwdriver or something in there and rotate it out, and then you are good to go. Now we should hear a good, satisfying snap. Oh, there was one good snap. And the other. Cool. Now we have a new bushing here, and that should be good to go in the car. So there are really awkward angles trying to film underneath the car, so I'm just going to go ahead and get this in and see if this works. Okay, the new bushing is installed and everything is put back together. Crispy. So you can see now this isn't moving so much. The bushing is actually tight. And now we can actually do some bang shifting gears. So now we just put this boot thing in there and put everything back together. Easy peasy. And just like that. Perfect. Nice and tight. So that is going to be mostly everything for the E36. We did a good amount of little work to it, but I think it's ready to go to its new owner. We're ready to build and turbo the E30, and this should be a wrap. I'm gonna go get cleaned up before I go take this thing for a test drive, and I'll try to get that on video. Honestly, I got really lucky with that clip not being fully in. It wasn't completely seated, so that was obviously really good. Those things can be a pain, but I think the whole job took me about 30 minutes. Oh, that's much better. Nice. This thing's running great. Okay, the shifting is already feeling so much better. Obviously it's not like crazy, like it's still the original shifter and everything, but it's feeling great. Sucks getting rid of this thing, but it's definitely worth a turbo E30, you know? Wow. Well, I am hoping that this is the last video of the E36. That way we can continue the projects and continue the E30. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Sorry I couldn't finish the E30 on camera. But until next time, my name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Have an amazing day. Peace.